Like techno, white on white like Esco. The girl on the wall like fresco. Too much cream, pesto. Cold as ice, Toronto. Peace sign the end, it's Benzo. Winner of the year, bingo. DJ turn it up, crescendo. Cold heart me the groove like.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy William Alexander Coleman, aka Arasmatazz, coming to you once again with another Arasmatazz Weekly show. As always, I'd like to thank you for watching. I'd like to thank you for supporting. I'd like to thank you for just being there, listening to me as I give my unsolicited opinions on African sports. Sometimes they may be unpopular, I know, but yeah, I mean, that's why I'm here, to just offer my opinions, whether you like them or not. But yeah, I'm here again. It's another week, and today I'd like to be a bit different. But then, yes, before I continue, I'd like to also say that, okay, from now on, I'm going to do things a bit differently. I've noticed that the other shows with the guests sometimes are a bit too long. So, coming to you with those ones as frequently as every week may be a bit tiring. So I think I'm going to make a few changes to the format of my show, if you can call it that, and probably do a bit more monologues with Arasmatazz Weekly. I mean, yeah, I'll be bringing you offside calls as well, as and when, something interesting comes up. But I'll be doing more monologues for the Arasmatazz Weekly show. And then maybe once a month, I don't know, once every 2 weeks. Yeah, I think once a month. I'll stick to once a month. Then I'll have a guest on the show where we'll talk in depth about, stuff that are of interest to you guys, to me, to, what we can do to increase participation and investment in sports. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Thanks again. But today, yeah, the spirit spoke to me. I was actually going to make a Facebook post about it, but I was like, no, why don't I just make a YouTube post rather, talk about it on the Arasmatazz Weekly show. It's a bit different in nature, and it may ruffle some feathers, but that's my unsolicited opinion. So if you have a contrary opinion, feel free to talk about it in the comments. But yeah, I'd like to talk about my country, Ghana, and I'd like to say a few things about things that I have noticed over the past few, I don't know, months, maybe even years, but let me just be safe and stick to the past few months. And I've noticed that there's a lot of despondency, there's a lot of despair among people, particularly young people. Just today, I've actually had WhatsApp chats with people who I actually thought were well-to-do, people that I've known from childhood, who are telling me that they no longer live in Ghana because Ghana has become a bit difficult to live in. Ghana has become, in other words, unbearable. And I kind of agree, because things, I am feeling the pinch myself. And I've noticed, because now there seems to be such an increase in the number of people who are actually trying to scam people. You know what? Thankfully, yeah, these days you do not hear so much about armed robberies, violent robberies, but you see people trying to rob people in other ways. You see people hacking into people's social media accounts, trying to steal their identities. When they want it back, then they get they say you have to pay some amount of money. Day in, day out, you get people asking you, and it's not just me. I mean, I know a lot of people, I'm sure yourself included, you've had people probably thinking that, things are great with you. So, there's this, for want of a better term, sense of entitlement when people ask you for things. And even when, you're polite and tell them that, things are a bit difficult, I really can't help you right now, but I wish I could help you, then they end up getting angry. I don't know when this crept into our society. but it is a reality. It looks like people are day in, day out looking for ways out, looking for ways to either scam people or looking for people to just help them. Very often, yes, I know it's people who are just being mischievous and, want to be smart, but there are people who genuinely need help. And there are people who genuinely want to help, but really can't because they're also in situations that are not particularly great. So this is where I would want to talk about a few things and talk to my government, make a passionate plea to my government to invest in sports. Invest in sports. The budget is normally read in November. November is what? I don't know when exactly in November, but in 9 months, 8.5 months from now, I am making a plea to the president. I am making a plea to the finance minister. Allocate more resources to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. This is why I say this. I say this because I have always said, I say it on every platform to anybody who cares to listen, that if the country decides to focus on sports alone, I'm not saying the country should focus on sports alone, that's what I'm saying. But if the country makes a concerted effort to focus on sports, that is half the country's problem solved. I have said it and I'll keep saying it because I believe deep down in my heart that it is true. Look, we need to get more people to participate in sports. We need to make people feel a sense of belonging. I am very sure that a lot of these people, especially the younger ones who are trying to, pull a fast one on others, if they had something productive they could do, we all can't go into entrepreneurship, we all can't go into manufacturing, we're all not going to get the jobs we want. But if you give them a reason to have a pastime, to do something in their leisure time, or even not just in their leisure time, but make it something that they do, like even if it's regimented, do sports, Imagine, like, if in the villages, we have, more athletics competitions, and we have people, young people who are the area, as we like to say here, local champions, the one who, when he's walking in his neighborhood, you have people fawning over him. Hey, Charlie, what's up? Yeah, that's the champion, make him feel important. Fine, maybe it may not bring them money, but it is something that, makes them feel important, and it will make them think twice about doing stuff that are socially irresponsible, and the same goes for our women, for our girls, if we have them focusing their minds, if you give them a reason to dream, a reason to believe that through this thing that I'm doing, I could probably become a world star, I could become someone, then we probably will have less people getting pregnant, we'll have a lot of less social vice, we have a whole lot less people doing things that they just shouldn't be doing, and we need to get our schools back to having sports or physical activity or physical education in the curriculums. We need to make it mandatory. I think that, I hear that there's going to be more educational reforms. I've even heard rumors that they want to introduce the Cambridge system for secondary schools. All well and good. Yes, I hear they want to focus more on STEM. Brilliant. But in doing so, please consider physical education. Please consider sports as part of the curriculum. Make it so that we can revive our sports from there. The grassroots is where we get people to turn into world stars. You don't turn a world star, or you don't become great at what you do overnight. It takes time, and the best time to start is when they are young. So please, Minister of Education, Minister of Youth and Sports, when you're considering your reforms, please add sports, add physical education, because that is where we are going to get our stars from. And also, another thing that I think that the government needs to do is they need to allocate more resources to the NCCE, the National Commission for Civic Education. I've realized that there is absolutely no love for our country. Okay, well, I may be exaggerating, but it definitely isn't anywhere near the level it's supposed to be. Let me let me give you an example. For instance, when it comes to sports, if you look at our national teams, especially the Black Stars, I think when I saw the under 17s at the World Cup, I saw them sing, maybe not as heartily as I would have wanted to, but the Black Stars. I am pretty sure that half the people who are selected for the Black Stars don't even know our national anthem. Yes, anytime I bring it up, people say, why? If the national anthem go play the ball for us, what does the national anthem got to do? Fine. But then look at countries like Brazil, look at countries like Italy. I mean, outside Africa, when they are passionate about singing the national anthem, you can see that they are willing to die for their countries. In France 98, I really don't remember at this point in time who it was, but someone said when he saw the French national team during the final of the World Cup in 1998 sing the national anthem, he knew Brazil was going to be beaten because of the way it fired them up. Fine, it may not be the one to play the ball for you, as we like to say over here, but it does give you a sense of pride. It gives you an understanding of why you are there. That the joy of a whole nation, at times the joy of a whole continent, lies on you guys, the 11 people on the field. And that's just for football. The same happens with boxing. The same happens with other sports. All the other sports that your country takes part in. The whole nation's joy rests upon the shoulders of the people representing their country. So if people know that I'm doing this for my country and not for myself, I think that it gives an added boost. Look at Italy once again. Look at how passionate they are about singing the national anthem. What are they now? They're European champions. Yes, I think I remember I had an argument with someone once about this national anthem thing when in 2014, after Neymar got injured during the semi-final of the 2014 World Cup, they were singing passionately. We had Thiago Silva and I think David Luiz holding Neymar's shirt up because he got injured pretty seriously in the quarterfinals, singing with passion, and then at the end of the day, they got beaten 7-1. Yes, it's true. But if you look at the world ranking, where is Brazil? And if you look at the world ranking and even the African rankings, where is Ghana? Currently, we are 11th. 11th. Meanwhile, we were the standard bearers for African football up until 1998 when Egypt came and equaled the number of AFCONs we had won and almost won their 8th just a few weeks ago. I think that we need to allocate more resources on love for country and sports, as we have seen from 2006, especially when we went to the World Cup, how sports unified the country. When people claimed there was all sorts of tension between the major political parties and, because of the upcoming elections 2 years later. And, for the time that Ghana took part in that World Cup, there was virtually no politics. When we hosted the AFCON in 2008, for that period, those 3 weeks or so, there was pretty much no politics. So sports can play an important role in making people understand love for country. People leaving the country, people who you think are even well-to-do are leaving the country. Then what about the people who aren't exactly in such positions? What do we want them to do? What do we want them to do? Let's give them a way out. Let's give them hope. Let's use sports to revive our love for our country and also use sports to get people to believe in life again, not just in their country, but to believe in their own selves so that, we can make this place a better place and not necessarily have people trying to skin people for the little that they have. It's evil. It's evil when people do that. And sometimes you think about it and you realize that in many cases, they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. So please, this is just a passionate plea once again to our president, to our Minister of Youth and Sports, and to our Finance Minister to allocate resources to sports. And I can promise you that you will see a much better country. Because if you invest in sports, it doesn't just take away the despondency, it helps in other things. It creates jobs, it boosts tourism, it does a whole lot. It even has its way of making our agriculture better. So, guys, my people, my government, my fellow Ghanaians, let's use sports as an avenue. Like I said, the Spirit spoke to me today. Yeah, call me Reverend Coleman, Reverend Arasmatazz. But yeah, on a more serious note, this is what I wanted to discuss today. This is what I wanted to say on the Arasmatazz Weekly show. Yeah, I know this is a sensitive topic, and I know that a whole lot of people may not agree with me, which is fine. Because at the end of the day, I am offering an opinion. It is not necessarily fact, even though I do believe that I am right in this instance. But then again, you also have your perspectives. You also have your way of thinking, your way of seeing things. So if you don't agree with me, hey, feel free. Let's have a conversation. In fact, we need to have enough conversations to make the higher ups start taking notice of the fact that we can use sports to make our country better. This is what I really hope for. I am Ghanaian. I love Ghana, and I can't see myself anywhere else. I'm very sure that given the chance, most of the people who want to leave Ghana or have already left would not take that option. They would prefer to stay in Ghana. So let's do what we can. Let's use sports. People, I beg you, my ministers, my president, let's use sports. November is just a few months away. In preparing your budgets, the budget, please allocate resources. Fine, I know that you can't allocate your whole budget to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, but increase it so that we can start making changes little by little. And once people see that the government is making an effort and how it's actually changing people's lives, I'm sure a lot of individuals, a lot of corporate bodies will start following suit, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to do business in a country which is in a state of chaos. And if we allow things to continue the way they are, we could move the country into something somewhat chaotic. Maybe where unemployment becomes out of hand, so it becomes a national security threat. That's what I mean. I'm not talking about anything that would get me arrested, I beg. But yeah, that's what I mean by chaos. I'm not saying that we should cause chaos, but I don't want a situation where the country things will get so out of hand that drastic measures may have to be taken, and like some severe austerity measures which will worsen the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian. Like I said, if even people who I think should be comfortable are feeling it, then what about the ordinary Ghanaian? So yeah, guys, this is my little admonition. Like I said, I'm trying to change the format because I've realized that maybe people aren't too interested in my super long episodes, so I want to make it a bit shorter. Within the next couple of days something comes up, I'll be back with an offside call. But this was your Arasmatazz Weekly show, and as always, I'm still around 200 subscribers, just 200. Yeah, the goal is to have 2,000 by the end of the year. So please, if you really do like the video, please like the video, please share, please let other people hear my message. And like I said, let's have a conversation. If there's something that they don't agree with or they do agree with, let's have a conversation. Let's keep the conversation going until it gets to the point where people in authority realize that it is actually time for us to do something. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, the Arasmatazz channel, if you haven't. because I want to get to 2,000 by 31st December 2022. Once again, guys, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure coming to you. And as always, I'll be seeing you guys real soon. Peace.
Like techno, white on white like Esco. The girl on the wall like fresco. Too much cream, pesto. Cold as ice, Toronto. Peace sign the end, it's benzo. Winner of the year, bingo. DJ turn it up, crescendo.